Well, hello. Hello, everyone. And welcome back to the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we were declared not guilty of murder, which was quite good news. And today we can tackle another case. I have no idea what it is, but we're gonna see. Yes. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Alright, let's go. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which she referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Hey, Mrs. Don't know yet, but apparently we have Sherlock Holmes. And Wilson. Does it mean that the Dr. Wilson that died was Sherlock's friend?
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
Yara,
Almost
it's
certainly
Russian.
ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Wait, he's got a...
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well,
He's got an investigation gun.
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
that won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
In there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
He reminds me of someone. I'm not sure who. Ah, my head is throbbing. Wait, we are involved in all that? What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait, were we the one in the cupboard? Wait, I can't move. What? What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So, you wake up now, eh? Oh. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are truly cold-blooded man. You! Ah, you found me then. Ah, we found you. And now you pay, criminal. Wait? How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, hmm? Sorry, what? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, hmm? No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Huh? Isn't that? No, okay, not the right voice. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Why are we always in this situation? Come on now. Miss Sato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Whose life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? No! Kazuma died? Really? Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in the sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. I already heard this one. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. But I didn't. No. No. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ha 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 ha. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. And it really wasn't a great idea, but alright. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case to the floor. I thought I was going to die. Oh, yes. I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Well, what does that even mean? Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we docked in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, don't expect anyone will discover you. Wait, how are we gonna eat? I hope not. Get the feeling that the Russians wouldn't be very forgiving in a stowaway. Ah, they're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From a faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there. I think it won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yeah, but what if steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We're supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer! No, I'm not a murderer. Ah, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. Oh, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow on this ship. Murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth, now. Sato-san? She thinks we did it. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you too. All eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. Suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. Huh? He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Now, do you have some other explanation? There's an air vent up there! Look at that! This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? I you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Sato-san, you have to tell me. Oh, the cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means that there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. That means it might have not be a murder then. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Oh, presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yeah, I was, but... He would always wait before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside the cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Sato-san arrived at his cabin door? I wonder. I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. On the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. Oh, I wish it weren't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. He was sleeping in the wardrobe, really? It's very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Was he poisoned as well, maybe? Some gas? And now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Oh, my head feels so heavy. It's just throbbing like anything. Stowaway? Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now. And I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Oh yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? He's not saying. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yeah, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You should know I'm always serious. You have a talent for it. Okay, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. What if I want to become a painter? I don't know. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world, in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no. Definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer then what? Nothing. Forget it. What? You can't just say that. Exactly my reaction. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something is still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. We know he had a secret mission, but we still don't know what it was. Susato-san? I'm sorry we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes! Word perfect, in fact. So, if you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here, in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't remember. What? How do we not remember? Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that I fell asleep. Well, yeah. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, you know. I know, it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. Also, Kazuma wouldn't be dead. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Pretty sure there was gas in this room. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's, please, forget it. Why do they all say that? Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you, but I'm doing it. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. There's no crime yet. Nobody knows if he's been murdered. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ah, I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. What? You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. Sorry? But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied? While whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how, and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Wait, what are we going to do? Hiya! What the... What? That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? You want to achieve just a few... What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Paper seal, yeah! Keep out. This is a paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. And I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it, so we used it anyway. And it worked! I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the door. There's nothing on the back. Alright, I'm gonna present you this!
Yes!
Take that! Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Good thing he didn't want to go to the bathroom while he was asleep. Well, just woke up during the night. Just in case the cabin stewards or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Sato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So, you finally believe me then? I'm sorry. No. What? Why not? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am? A magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Sato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. And if you do, I'll take you down again. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, we'll avenge your death. Let's examine. Oh, that's this guy over there. This guy. Criminal, criminal. These are the rules of passage for travel abroad the SS Buria. Bin Mai Mani I don't know. It's essentially a list of requests. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? What are you staring at me? Oh, sorry, I was thinking... Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Wait, what? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be here. Oh dear, that won't do. Wait, what? What's the matter, Sato-san? Oh, whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. Wait, what? I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard. Are you, Naruhodo-san? What? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using B and M. Aren't you? Well, of course. Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes! Let's do that. Suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. What's that? I wonder. I think that's some kind of opening for the ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator. If that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. Ah, that's true. Perhaps he saw that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. What is that? This is... Yes. It's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Ah, missus, do you have bell cords in your house? Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Oh, I suppose nobody comes for lovely Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy. That's all. What is that? What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. Oh, the glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma though. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? Oh, and the mark beside it. What is it? I wonder. It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Let's look at the... What's that? Well, we have to look at what's written there. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Garde the robe. What? Garde-robe is the French name for wardrobe. That's kind of weird. Then I suppose he wrote his message by dipping his fingers in the slippage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. Ah, I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? Pretty sure he wasn't. I don't know. So my suspicion here is there's been some kind of poisonous gas, or maybe some kind of somebody tried to asphyxiate Kazuma. Yeah, we were in the wardrobe. There's something in the wardrobe. We were in there. So Kazuma tried to warn anybody entering that they should look in the wardrobe to save us. So I'm pretty sure there was no murder there. Well, there might be a murder, but not... he wasn't attacked or anything. But I'm not sure we were supposed to be able to read Russian. Oh, I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. Oh, I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. She's very perceptive. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. All of those Japanese people. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean? I wonder. Well, there's a Russian guy there just right over there. You should ask this guy. The books have fallen over on the shelf. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look! They've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. Oh, I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training. Do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. What? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books on a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case? I wonder. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. She want to tamper with the crime scene? Oh, by the way, Mrs., you didn't tell if you had a bell cause at your place. Oh, this is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Oh, poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. Oh, it looks as though he was... it looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! What? That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. Wait, but what if it's something important, something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. This girl, my god. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matter either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Wait. Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European? Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, have you? Well, it's hard to miss, though. I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspicious at all. Naruto-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, should I? No. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk? Or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. What? Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? Oh, by the way, I expected you've noticed already, but just in case. If you press space on people when they're in the crosshair, you can converse with them. Alright then. I'll get the suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. This dude, really? Hello? Excuse me? Excuse me? Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Oh yes, perhaps that would be for the best. What? Oh! Greetings! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry, what? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, what? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh. Well, that's true at least. But... how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary. Huh? You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. What? And when the beribboned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Why are you asking? Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. You are an assassin. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. Oh, I never have imagined. Oh, it's shameful behavior, Naruto-san. Absolutely wicked. You must stop immediately. No, listen, there's no way. Yeah. Oh, come on now. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. Oh, this is ridiculous. How could you do it? Oh, for pity's sake. Open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. She keeps doing it, yeah. I think she liked that. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yeah, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, huh? Well, to be honest, he's quite a bit weird, yes. This ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction, more plain observation, Captain Obvious. Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Ah. I don't think you introduced yourself, though. Ah, my apologies. You're remiss of me. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. Trademark. Oh, so it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes. The very same, the inimitable actual Sherlock Holmes. No, it's actually Sherlock Holmes because of trademark, you know. You know, it's Sherlock Holmes, it's just, you know, it's an imitation. Do you know this man, Sato-san? The most famous detective in the world, Naruto-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Yeah, nobody, for sure. Oh, what planet have I been living on then? Oh, we must ask him what he's deduced. We'd have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Great detective, eh? So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Oh, indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see. You're German. Lock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Holmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Run's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest article from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. What? Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements. Detecting? And chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer? Do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Wait, that's not the same Wilson? Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to the publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. Science? Wait, really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reaction in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes detection from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for detection and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Okay, man, if you say so. So, have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything, my dear fellow? Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you, now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in this now because of him. Oh, when I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among the number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the handcuffs seems to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah. Going to bed? Have a good night, Mrs. I'm gonna miss the weirdness from this guy, though. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Okay, have a good night. Oh really? Two facts, you say? Two facts. Okay, two facts. Mr. Sharps, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? We can't wait. Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Garderobe. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Garderobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama would have left a dying message in Russian? In the final moments, many find the native tongue filling the head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Was he really? Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Guard, But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Oh, where you found Mr. Naruhodo, sleeping soundly. They're being consistent about Mr. Naruhodo and Naruhodo-san. Oh, quite so! I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is a traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This was taken immediately after the young man. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered in the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary, fleeing from Russia and all that. Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? No? I'm not sure. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. Your detection right just now. Can we talk about your detection before the things you concluded about me, I mean? Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, you've got the other detail that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? Oh, it sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, 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 how could it be me? I don't look at anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Oh, please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. Oh, what about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man, and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters? I wonder. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it? Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great detection. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within these pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been entered to the court record. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. In the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt to just glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? As far? Ah, yes, the victim. I wonder if I can play with the controller. Wait a second. Should be easier this way. Oh, I think I might need to... It's not working. Is there options? PC config. Can't. That must be one of the problem with the PC version. But it'd be nice to play with the controller though. Yes, the victim. Oh, did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. No, not diary. Kazuma was keeping notes on of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read these private writings. It could upset people. Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Well, she's not gonna do it. Susato-tan? Aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? Oh, I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean? Our life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy. A smattering. Sayonara. Bonsai. Mikado. Nadanado. Trust you're suitably impressed. What's Nadanado though? I don't know. Ah. But this diary is littered with complicated looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. Ha 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 ha. So, what was all that showing off about before then? It's starting to be quite annoying, this guy. Oh, if you'd be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read to you, Mr. Sholmes. What? Oh, I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yeah, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been entered into the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time as being, at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writing in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrists should reveal the answer. What? No. All these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? Oh, there's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was a culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as a culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it. Only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. Sorry. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal. You know. Not really. So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Run over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha. What? No, he's just being plain rude. And there he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Huh? We must go investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I can... Hiya! What? After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? Huh? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to sleep next door. Ah, good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. We can move stuff? Really? Wow, we can do so many things in this game. What about the sword? That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. Oh, I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone, but I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. What's that? Oh, that's my dinner from last night. Roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Sato-san. I ate on the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like the chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean... What? Poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? Oh, it's just too horrible. No, I certainly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Oh, that's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. Was brought on board inside that case. Ah yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over. And then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than Susato takedown. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes. His calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so solely? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? What? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Is there anything else? What's that? The table, maybe? Look at the table. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night, when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. Huh? So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. Girl, really? So, is there more to it? It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san? I think living isn't quite the right description, but... Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. Last night was no exception. Oh, but because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin? No, sadly not. Okay, we've looked at that. Is there anything else? Yeah, we can look at the door. And when I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. Ah, it's quite a small bolt. It's not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, if the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they're sealed together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Oh, when she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there. The crewman. Do you mean he wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again, but I suppose I could try. Okay, let's talk to this guy. Is that? Is something wrong? Naruto-san. Oh! Yes. Oh no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Can't that remind me of someone? Who could that be? Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir? Yes. What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. Uh-huh. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Oh, nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? Oh, you certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, Please ask. Oh, I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. Special order. Orders. So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Oh yes. And why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I gotta say, I love that the guy is the same guy. It's, I mean, it's very funny, but also it's they don't have to create another guy for the story, so it also helps on a production perspective. It's very clever. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. What? For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san bodyguard. What? It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas studies tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Man, you kind of failed at that. Big time. Assassinated? How could that even have been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Chigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. Oh, this is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. Oh, I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. I hope he's not gonna open his belly. Like, you know, Japanese dudes do. Inspector. So, if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. Okay. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. Oh, I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer. Of course not. We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yeah, yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there will surely snap your neck in two. I suppose. I'm not just a stowaway now. Just think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What? What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how. There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you are in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosnega could use. So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright. Yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. Okay. Court records. I can't present anything. How do I present? Please, Inspector Osanaga. We need permission to go into the cabin next door. Yeah, I'm sorry. How do I present the stuff? Ah, okay, present. It's over there. Present the diary. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if you could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asagi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then. Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move? Alright. Let's see what we can find out. Move. Let's move. First class space passageway. Okay. Ninth of January, 7:48 a.m. SS Burya. First class cabin passageway. Whew. Finally out of the cabin. I have to admit, it isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on his study tour by the government. That's why he was being put in a first-class cabin. Even still, she's about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous. Even if he's sitting down. The door next to him leads to second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yeah, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. Must have been a very trying time for you. Please, don't give me that pitying look. This looks like a plan of the SS Burya. It shows each deck, look. The Burya is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's quite simple, Naruto-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. You know, it's physics. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth. Many times larger than this ship. And they don't think, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. They're not floating? What are you saying? Well, I suppose so. They're not floating? I know they're not floating. Did you go to school? Oh, there's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Oh. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. Oh, I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment. Naruto-san. Even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Hello? Excuse me? But could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's mate. Oh. We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Sato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman, beef stroganoff. Ooh. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. First class cabin area. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first class cabin area. Here, we are in finest part of Burias steamship for a very important person. So, what sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is no animal. Thank you. Oh, if I may, I was wondering. Is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? Duh! Sato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Oh no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Oh. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Who is it? Could you tell us who's showering in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He had nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would not have interest in lowly student from insignificant forest in island. Oh, that was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. come to think of it. Even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Kazuma's cabin the entire time. I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin. Or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since each gentleman is occupying one of the first class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Okay. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Yeah, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad, but student boy. Oh, were you on watch last night as well? Of course I was. And did you not notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Niet! Sato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I thought I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? I said no! Sorry? I'm not so sure though. Could have sworn that you wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. That is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or, as English say, when the pigs fly. Ah yes, I understand. Oh good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Oh, definitely. Oh, that's the way to the second class area of the ship. Is something wrong? I'm thinking making run for it just for a moment. Things are not exactly going well for me. Oh, I might be wrong, but imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door. That bloody seaman will certainly shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started it with my talk of running away. And there's no way I could run away while Kazuma's death remains a mystery anyway. The book on top of the table is really huge. We already saw that, but... Shall we have a look for it? Ah, through it, yeah. Oh yeah, we already did that. Come on now. Okay. Okay, we saw that. Alright. Was missing the thing. Don't know why. Wait, I want to check something. Controls. again. Okay. What's that? Ah, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. A lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. Maybe you should try and eat it. You can't eat it now, Toto-san. She's reading my mind. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But... Ah! I suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? No. All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Oh, poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Oh, she's so nice. That's our door. What is this? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? Oh, that's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in time of emergency. Looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh. What are you doing now, Toto-san? You must not touch it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at his handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. Well, you gotta think that such a big boat wouldn't stop instantly, but, well, okay. I see what she means. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. Or if you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's. Sorry? Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home. Oh, these cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way. 500 and... How many cabins are there? This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilators from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Or maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Hmm? No answer. Nobody's home. We are tough luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying! Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream! Must have been a woman. Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fate is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Ah, please. Wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I despise my muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? What, pray, can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Let's get in. 9th of January. SS Boria. First class cabin number 2. Who is this man? This is a revolutionary. Who? Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there is nobody but me in this cabin. True. This old man appears to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Wait, why do I know this story? This is weird. Get out! All of you! Now! Please excuse the intrusion, but... You're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe? Yes, that's me, and you are? I'm the one and only, the actual Sherlock Holmes. You heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among great detectives. One who adores the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. Oh, the man used that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't happen to be a lady concealing herself in the wardrobe this time. So, might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk? Don't look at me. Oh my! Did you see that, Mr. Naruto? Yes, the case just shook. Leave! Now! Otherwise I'll call the steward! So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if I can find some clues before the burly sailor returns. What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin. Get out! Could we just have a quick look inside the traveling case house? No! Oh, what a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more that we can do. I agree. But there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's I'm gonna adjust it. Isn't that it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Well, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardroom whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service. Oh! I need to assume that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in his cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh yes, please. Well then, what you're about to see may well astound you. For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a W. Russian, I ask you? What? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of Russianness, or Russian on account of dubiousness? It's a bit racist all that, but well, you know. I really don't think either of the things should be occurring to you or anyone. That's right, Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to know, especially in first meeting, but once I read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases judgment. Shh! I must have complete silence. What? What are you doing? Why are you peering on my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What? What do you mean? Number one. Your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at the very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Oh! Oh, now there's the sun. If I imagine I would miss one of Mr. Sholmes' quick detection with my own eyes. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. A single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What ineffable twaddle! Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his quick deduction in first hand. This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Royler's face. Looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then, I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you on a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us walk through my deductions together. The great deduction. The game is afoot. The game is afoot! Topic 1. Old man's identity. So the debris-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously was what catches the eye in the first place. Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand? Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard your sport. Now moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have also read. You have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand? A revolutionary on the run. Topic 2, wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, getting tired. You are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have propensity to let their eyes stray, you see? And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crimes is before our very eyes. Yes, that travelling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse! What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimations, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in traveling case? Dear me, we are not well suited for a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'œil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. But there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page, renowned prima ballerina of the Novavich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. The crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great detection of this Russian enigma, Elemansky. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great detection I've been... Oh, Sato-san, that wasn't one of the great detection I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Schultz's brilliant detections, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here for a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? Oh, it's about your deductions, would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... these two men look nothing like each other. Ah yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Royal does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. Another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. It'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case. Even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is it? Is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Oh, well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case. Oh, well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case. Oh, some years ago I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lightness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself to the confines of the small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, this whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruto, something occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' seduction just now. I think his power of observation are, well, magical. His eyes get to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little, maybe a little of itself, Mr. Sato. Oh, it's just one or two key words in his deduction that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps actually switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords in his detections? Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny, you know? Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? What? Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. Not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Alex Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1. Old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian Mr. Roylott, obviously what catches the eyes in the first place. You know what? I want to stop here. We're gonna save. How many saves do we have? We have many saves. We can just save now. Alright. I mean, it's too late. We're gonna continue another time. I'm sorry. I mean, I love the game, but I gotta go to bed. Alright, well, this is quite exciting, but I don't know, I know the story, but I don't know why. Maybe I saw someone play this game. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for being with me. Please take it. We're gonna continue all that soon. Not sure when, but soon. Anyway, in the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.